Hello, I'm Linda Feinholtz, founder of On Day 91. For 20 years, I've been working with business owners who want to create a more stable, more scalable, and even potentially more sellable business. In particular, they don't want to be stuck in their business. They want to know that they have a business that their bankers will support financially, that brokers and investors and prospective buyers actually find an attractive business so that they don't become stuck in their company. Hello and welcome. For the past few years, I've asked business owners, if you had to be absent from your business for 90 days, what state would it be in on day 91? All the way up until December 2019, you can imagine what most of the answers were. Very worrying. Then came February 2020, and every business leader has been forced to confront the question from the other side of the coin. What on earth to do during a crisis like the one we're confronted with now? Business chaos, economic disruptions, fear for our health and safety, all of it likely to cycle over and over again for months to come. That's the question in the minds of most business owners today. All the assumptions and plans you had in mind in December of 2019 have been disrupted. So I want to share with you some thoughts and a model to help you weather this period in your personal life and your business life. The lesson learned from the past recession is those businesses that are nimble are the ones that both survive the crisis and thrive afterwards. And let me say this. Most business owners I've worked with are genuinely trying to provide great services and products to their customers. So I'm not going to blame them and I'm not going to blame you. You did your very best. You did your very best. So here's the thing. What we tend to do is copy other people's tactics. We take a look and see exactly what they did, and then to the best of your ability, you make sure that what you're doing is copying their tactics instead of necessarily figuring out which tactics to use that make sense for you and your business. Let me give you a practical example, pre-crisis, but it holds. It's as relevant now as in those circumstances beforehand. When my client Jack started his business installing and servicing equipment in medical treatment centers, the only role model he had was what everyone else was doing across the country, same kind of businesses. And it turns out that their business model is a perfect fit for them. They want to provide services, but not store inventory or parts, not do off-site repairs, and so on. And it turns out that business model was great for highly independent, individualistic business owners who don't particularly want to grow their business. And because that's what everyone else in the industry did, that is what Jack thought you did. That was the only role model that he had. So there he was every single month doing exactly what everyone else was doing. And here's the thing. That was the perfect strategy for those other business owners, but it didn't work for Jack at all. So what he ended up doing is step by step creating a business very different from virtually everyone else in the country. He stepped away from a business model that he really did not enjoy very much at all. It wasn't that the tactics were wrong. They were right for other business owners and wrong for Jack. It's very natural to copy somebody else's business tactics in good times. So what happens in crisis and uncertainty? It's very much human nature to double down on whatever our approach is. But here's the thing. It's worth trying to understand and model other companies' tactics to be sure you haven't missed anything. But don't make the mistake of thinking they're actually doing a good job getting organized and solving what needs to be solved. For Jack, he was able to shift and created a business that is outpacing everyone else in his industry. And with a few tweaks last year, we actually were able to increase his sales and his profits more than double his actual targets. And now, how is that relevant now during this season of crisis and uncertainty? Well, it turns out that because of the way he structured his business, he's more nimble. What might that mean for you? Many business owners reach out to me because they don't want to be stuck in their business, but they're either right now in fight, flight, or frozen. They're distracted or they're immobilized, can't think clearly in order to regain control, create stability, and even scalability rather than just being in reaction mode. Many business owners reach out to me because they don't want to stay in that state. And so today I want to share with you 3 principles for how to get yourself out of that state. These are the way of taking the right next steps to make the right next things happen for you and your company. The first principle is focus now, focused fast. While everyone else in your industry is watching each other to see if anyone is a genius at solving things, be the genius. Second, focus on getting cash in now. That may mean trimming your offerings to the fastest moving selections and shutting down the rest, like a restaurant offering only 3, 4, 5 dishes, or changing your platform, like all those live events that are now proceeding online, or some of them that got clever and figured out how to do it are. It's all about cash now, not planning for years to come. Don't waste this emergency, this crisis. Don't try to arm wrestle it into submission so you can preserve how business was done back in the good old days of December 2019. Be committed and open-minded and imaginative so it gets solved. And the third principle is get nimble. You must pivot right now. You may be able to reestablish what you call business as usual in months to come, but that's running a business by looking in the rearview mirror. I want you to turn around, face up and face forward. The entire landscape of business may be different in months and years to come, and you need to stay focused on the opportunities that are presenting themselves right now. Here's why. There are 4 states your business could be in: bleeding, leaking, stable, or growing. During a crisis, times of chaos and uncertainty, many businesses risk sliding into leaking or bleeding. And we need to take the steps to move up that ladder as quickly as possible. So let's talk about how to pivot now. We need to move you up as quickly as possible. Let me take a sip of water here. So there are actually 3 pivots you need to make with your business. The first pivot is positioning, what you're offering and who you're selling it to. The second is marketing, what you're promising and the ways you deliver on it. Third is the operating side of the back office, all of the production and so on that goes into delivering and running the business. So there's the old way that you've been doing it, but right now you need to think fresh about how you'll do it new right now. So for instance, in positioning, I want you to think through exactly what you'll offer to make money. Next, I want you to think about your marketing, how it is you're going to make it known and grab people's attention. And third is the operating side of it, how you'll get it done. So let me give you some examples. And then what I want you to do is take this model into your own business and sit down by yourself, with your team, and so on, and think all of this through right now, this week. Positioning. A high-end restaurant pivoted from their $100 meals to drive-through. Hamburgers brought out to your car window at decent prices that keep customers coming back for more on a very regular basis right now during this crisis. Here's a marketing example. A plastic surgeon doing online meetings with folks doing consultations face to face, just through Zoom or another platform like that, and talking about the details and options for what procedures could be used, and actually booking surgeries for months in advance on the other side of the crisis. Next, examples from the operating side of a business. An international consulting company with regular meetings that gathered their leaders in one location, shifting to do it online and finding it could still be hugely productive and keep the business well coordinated and moving along. And we've all heard about manufacturers pivoting to work on the supplies and equipment that were determined to be essential activities and products, shifting to producing those products even when they're not their core activities, but by doing so, they kept their business rolling and their team paid. Brainstorm at least 3 options in each of these pivots. And right here, right now, it's time for you to put your pivot plan together. If you'd like to get support as you do that, you can find information on the 9-week Momentum program or reach out to us on day 91 at onday91.com. We'd be delighted to talk with you about how we can help you weather the chaos, the uncertainty, and come out a healthier business on the other side.